and welcome back to Random Encounter, episode number 4, where, well, we finished off with another combat encounter about to start, but before we get into a position where Anka is in dire troubles,
Fast we go.
I did want to sort of bring up one small sort of question, which is fundamentally for you guys, and I think Becky, you're probably going to have the hardest time answering this question, simply because you've not really been in the GMing chair before.
Oh, right, yeah.
But the rest of you, I am aware that you are relatively well versed GMs. Open world, custom created, or pre-written adventure? Because obviously we're in a pre-written adventure position at the moment, and I have my reasons for doing that. I also have a back catalogue of personal stuff that I want to write for my own little world that I've got sat to the side. But pre-written versus the open world, sort of the stuff that you write yourselves. What do people kind of prefer in general if you are playing and GMing, and what do the kind of sort of limitations do you feel of these sorts of big pre-written adventures? What sort of things do you kind of feel sorry is left behind, as it were? So I will go to probably my most esteemed GM, the one that I know has been doing it for quite some time, Mr. Dave there. Your experiences with pre-written and self-written adventures, and what you kind of feel about them.
This is an interesting question. Self-written has a lot more time and brain power investment to it, but you can tailor it a lot more for your players. You know what they'll enjoy. You have a reasonable idea of what directions they'll take, so you can plan accordingly. Whereas pre-writtens are great for just running, but you're left with the author's viewpoint on things. One example that always sticks in my mind from this is one of the Eberron pre-written modules, where the party are on a sky ship that gets boarded by pirates, and the expectation is that the party will kick off a fight despite the fact that there are passengers being held hostage. So that's a lot of work when the entire player party goes, no, there are people being held hostage, let's do this more cleverly. And the adventure is big fight. Generally, what I like is writing my own adventures in a pre-existing world, because then a lot of the work's already been done. But I make absolutely no bones about taking bits I don't like of this world and throwing them out of the window, or going, no, this is how it works. Because your characters aren't from here. You don't know what the customs of this place are. I don't care that if you've read Ed Greenwood's notes on the Forgotten Realms. Just read Greenwood. We're doing this my way. So a good example of this is in a campaign I ran in Forgotten Realms, where I found a city on the coast of the Eternal Sea and went, let's have that ruled by a council of a red dragon, a lich, and a Marilith demon, who are all evil, but yet somehow this place is a really nice place to live, because that fits all their agendas. The Lich likes a magical item trade, so having a prosperous port. The Marilith's an information broker. Hey, prosperous port. And the dragon's like, yeah, this whole city's my hoard. No one touches my hoard. And so, yeah, occasionally condemned criminals, after a fair trial, get fed to the Lich, which really put the Paladin in a dilemma. but feeding to Lich, but fair trial. But feeding to Lich, but fair trial.
I love it.
Paladin, lawful good, the only alignment which is more evil than any of the others.
Yes!
That's a discussion for another time.
That is indeed alignments. That's going to be a fun one. JJ, you have run a couple of things with me, certainly, in terms of doing effectively 40k. adventures, but do you have experience? Because I know that was written by yourselves. If you do, you have experience of running any pre-written stuff?
Well, 80% of what you run in that game, so absolutely is my custom bit within that game. I'm obviously using Games Workshop's proprietary IP and all the rest of it. So very much in their universe, their lore exists. I think it was Fantasy Flight took over the second edition of Heresy, which is the one I was running.
Fantasy Flight was both editions of Dark Heresy.
Fantasy Flight was both. My apologies. But about 20% of it is actually borrowed from two different adventure sources, two different adventure paths within their own second edition storylines. So I've probably got more experience on blending than I have on purely one or the other, which allows me to overcome some of the gaps that were mentioned. Players want to do something peaceably, but there's nothing in this for it. Well, actually, I already have options because I've already been broadening the margins of what can occur here, so I kind of already have something loosely planned or concepted. At which point, the anarchy of 40k kind of allows me a huge segue and space to work with. The problem comes with it's a big universe that's already defined in certain ways. You can do pretty much anything you want it, but it's already defined.
Yeah. Yep.
So you don't have freedom to open create so much.
Talk about somebody that openly created their own entire world. Lily, your delves into AD&D have been pretty much your entire own imagination, from what I'm aware. Have you done pre-written stuff before, or is that?
Yeah. So I've run. What's it called? Is it Into the Depths? The Dark Elf 5th ed one. Into the Abyss. And I've done some of the second edition Woofup pre-made ones. Again, that was Fantasy Flight. I think my issue with a lot of the standalone campaigns and missions like that is that, as been mentioned, sometimes your players don't follow the very railroaded campaign. And there's sometimes no reason to not let them do that action. And then you end up being in a situation of going, well, how can I actually get them back on track to how this adventure is supposed to conclude? Or maybe you've done something not quite right within the pre-written campaign, and then you don't realize until maybe a session later, and then it's like, well, I can't really retcon that, but now I've kind of broken how some of it was supposed to interact. So I don't like doing a full campaign that is completely pre-written, but I do like getting inspiration, especially there's so many Patreon creators out there that do little encounters or like maybe 1-2 shot campaigns that actually with a little bit of tweaking can fit in a lot of general worlds, even if they're not quite, this might be a D&D 5th adventure, actually might fit into this Woofup campaign if I change some of the stats and whatnot. And then if you've read it, it's less to absorb, and then you can kind of work out, well, actually, okay, the players aren't following this, but because you've got your world that you've kind of embedded it into, you can start going, okay, maybe they don't finish how this is supposed to have ended, but because it's kind of something larger, it doesn't matter. And you either move on with something else. Maybe they do lose the campaign. Maybe that's an option. But if you are doing a campaign that, you're supposed to have a big bad, ending in a loss and just doing it wrong, you don't have a world to then direct them to do something else. It's like, well, you're off the track now. I either need to do something completely different, or this campaign's just not going to work.
I can see that from both sides. I can definitely see that. Becky, you are by far and away the core player in the group rather than the GM with aspirations to play. What do you generally think of the adventures that you have done? Because I'd imagine for the most part you've done, certainly during lockdown, mostly pre-written stuff, because nobody has time to write anything these days apart from Lily.
Actually, like one of the games that got me through lockdown, my friend Liam has been running, has been completely made up from his brain. Often with inspiration from random movies. We had a recent foray into The Mummy, for example. Those scarab beetles will forever haunt my dreams. And we've had Jumanji, but it was called Blamunji, and just silly things like that. But also like longer kind of arcs of things. And he's done that all off his own back, and weekly we generally have a different adventure. So I've had elements of that.
Yep.
And then I've had the kind of pre-made adventure thing. Sorry, my dog's after me. Pre-made kind of things. And I like both. I think both have scope. I prefer it if a DM or a GM kind of follows what the players are doing. So either character backstory or what the characters are doing in the story, and kind of goes with the flow of it and reacts to that. If it's just really prescriptive, I don't enjoy it as much, because it just feels like doesn't matter what we do, the outcome's the same regardless.
Yeah.
So it's about making sure that, like Lily was saying earlier, you get people back on track to an extent, but allowing them to do their journey if that involves some detours on the way, kind of thing. And that's when I eventually one day run something, I'm likely to kind of blend as opposed to one or the other.
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer myself in using players' backgrounds to mess with them, as it were, as things go on, which is why you guys have all written me some lovely little intros as to what your characters are, and also massive advantage of reading forwards in some of these things. I already know where I'm going to do some of that stuff, so I'm very happy with this with this approach to taking a pre-written thing but adding your own little flavors to it, and we certainly did that, and some of you will become aware of that, I'm sure, with these characters as we progress, that there are some things that you have already seen that are not part of this adventure path, because we did some session 0 stuff, so I've had some material already brought through that you guys have seen from this adventure path, but don't know it yet. So getting back to it though, we had a situation at the end of the last session where, having rigged yourselves a rope sort of pulley system to pull yourself up onto the dry land on the other side of the rather unpleasant looking drawbridge, Anka had pulled herself up onto the side and sort of realised that maybe while she was there nobody else could really get up onto that bridge without potential of it collapsing. What then happened was you opened the door to discover that the room that you were walking into, while particularly large, is also not unoccupied, and a number of these, well, certainly one, from what you can see, of these blue gremlin-y type creatures that you've met before, was in the room, parading around with a large maggot-like creature on a lead. And while the maggot doesn't seem to have noticed that you're there, the blue creature certainly has, and has pointed in Anka's direction and said, "Go get them." So what we shall do is, I've added you all already to the combat tracker. It's already there, so you guys are more than welcome to sort of do that. I'm just zooming out the battle map for the viewers, because this is a big old map at this point, and the auto follow isn't going to work. So I've turned that off for now.
We're not on the tracker.
Out of curiosity, just a quick question. Second bar in, I can see an unknown creature. Should I be able to see that?
Yeah, that second thing in unknown creatures. There should be 4 of them, I believe. Or is there only
just the one?
Okay, let's see.
I think
Only one, and I can't
creatures.
see us.
Right.
Just double checking.
Just for my my check on this one, just to sort of check where you guys are at. Where you've got your encounter thing, can you see a bar across the top saying which encounter number it is?
So
I
not
see,
started.
not started.
Just
yeah.
not started, and you can see a number of creatures and nothing else. Is that right?
A bird-like thing called unknown creature. 15
Okay. Well, that probably means is I just need to make sure I add you all again and just see if that works. I'm a little bit surprised that has not dragged you automatically. Make sure your encounter window is open, just for
It is.
by benefits.
Just checking.
If I just chuck you on, have you just been pulled over to one with 4 creatures on it now?
Yes, 3
No.
unknown goblin-y thingies and the
I'll try refreshing.
Maggoty thing. It might be that you do need to, unfortunately, refresh. Your list. I'm afraid.
I'm wondering if that's the thing.
Yeah. Just refresh your screen and see what
It still
encounters.
says not started.
Technology.
It's
Yeah.
a wonderful thing, isn't it? Especially when it works.
Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, it's great when it works.
I'm always reminded of the Judge Dredd scene with Stallone there and the Lawmaster. Yes, it's got these automatic cannons and this, that, and the other, and it even hovers. Smack, fizz, sparks, thump. When they can get it working. That's technology. There we go.
Spin
Perfect.
up the music from Sirenscape, and let's get into that. Hopefully, you've all got your thing. Neffy, I would just suggest you make sure on your character sheet you have set your initiative to stealth, because I'm guessing that's what you were doing at the time.
Would I have an
Yeah, I was.
initiative? Or would it still be perception?
It would still be perception at this point. You could wrangle it that you could get your initiative off your athletics if you really, really wanted, because of the fact that you were kind of pushing open a door, and I might say that might be an athletics thing, but perception is probably more realistic.
Okay,
sure. I will, however, just quickly bump everybody's initiative up by 1 because you were scouting, would be my guess. So
Maybe a quick question then.
Should just sort that out. Make sure.
I was definitely still in my shield raise, whatever it is. For stuff.
Yeah. Oh, if you were shield raising, you're definitely using that. So just adjusted ever slightly because all of you would have got a +1 bonus from the fact that you had some scouting going on. The only downside you've got here is pretty much most of my creatures are going first. So first off the bat, you hear coming from the east side of this sort of L-shaped room, as we discussed, you hear a sudden sort of gasp from another one of these sort of gremlin-y type creatures, and you then see one of these things start running out from the shadows, come running around the corner, spot you, and pulls a dart from its side. That's all it can do, though. It's not got enough actions to do anything else. But at the same time, the one that sort of pointed you out and said that, go get them, that will go next, and it's not got great range with its darts, so it's going to have to move itself up. It's going to run itself the full speed that it can, which isn't actually great now that I look at it. So it's going to move 20 foot to there with a grab a dart, and it's going to try and throw it at you, but the actual distance to you is quite a way. You're actually 50 foot away, which means it's 2 range increments out, so it's going to have a big old penalty to this attempt.
Do I get some cover because of the door as well?
And you also get some cover, partly because of the door, partly because there's another one of its friends right in front of it. So I'm going to say that you're going to get a +2 armor bonus. So bear that in mind. Your armor is going to go up by 2 for the purpose of this dart coming in. It is, however, going to roll a natural 3. There is no way that the extra armor means anything at all to that attack roll. You are completely missed as this dart goes fizzing past its head, past your head, and that's all of its actions. It's at that point that the maggot starts moving. It doesn't seem to have any idea where it's going, but the fact that the one that was running ahead has the lead on it, it will follow that creature. In fact, it seems to follow the one that ran ahead in as well. Almost like even though it doesn't notice you, it has some sort of idea of where its owners have gone. However, it is very slow, and with all 3 actions, it still only manages to get that far. So it only manages 30 foot with all of its actions in tow. That then makes it Neffy's turn. Now you've got a slight problem here, Neffy.
I can see Ethel.
You can't see anything, and you're not even up on the top where the platform is. So you've got a few options here, but it's up to you.
I was going to say, care to elaborate? Because I'm a bit stuck on options.
I'm stood next to a rope,
Well,
so you can run up this way.
a couple of things you could do. You could move up to the rope and ready in action that when Anka is off the bridge, you will try and climb. That's certainly one option. The other option is you could just flat out delay your turn. It would mean you'd move down in the initiative order, but it would mean you get all 3 actions after you've where you decide you're going to slot yourself in. So that's sort of that. You could effectively, by that, you could then go delay your action, wait until Anka's gone. Anka steps into the room, finishes her 3 actions. Then you say, right, I'm going now. And then you could take your 3 actions to sort of get up to the rope, climb up and try and get in. So there's that. Or you could, I don't know, sing a merry tune.
I'm not playing a bard.
Do your knitting.
I will go up to the rope. I assume that's here, isn't it?
Yep.
And then, yeah, once Anka's off the bridge, yeah, I'll climb.
You're ready in action to do a climb. Okay.
Yeah.
So we kind of end up with the same sort of problem here for Phelan. Phelan, it is your go now. You know after everything everybody's told you with Anka where she is, the bridge could collapse if you try and get on it. Your badger could go across, but that's about it.
Okay. I think I'm going to remain here, and because ready is 1 action, isn't it?
So readying is you ready for 2 actions, and it allows you to perform a single action. So it's
right.
Unfortunately it's not as powerful as delaying. Delaying allows you to have all 3 of your actions, but you do then move in the initiative order.
Okay, and I can't ready to cast a 2-action spell.
No.
Right. In that case, I am going to delay until after Anka and Mosron.
Okay, so it would be Anka's turn now. So what does Anka do?
What's the rules for running past things?
Well, I mean, basically the rules for running past things are so long as you don't go through their squares, you can absolutely run past things. Your downside is you don't know if the animal has an attack of opportunity, but what I would say is most don't in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's actually quite a very small number. It's maybe 20% of creatures have attacks of opportunity now.
Okay. I'm going to leg it. I'm going to see the one who's given the orders to Little Pet. And is it shift? No.
Control.
How do I do the...
Control.
So, So I'm going to do first action to enter there.
Yep. Just click. So what you do is control to drag the line, left click to lock it in place, and then you can carry on. Left click again to lock your next one in place, and then space will activate it.
So that is what I'm planning on doing.
Yep. So you go dashing straight past all of these other creatures, and in absolute bewilderment, they kind of just let you go. They do not seem to be able to react to the fact that you have gone past them.
And then with my third action, I will swing at what I hope to be one of the leadery people with the little bear.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, you can do that. You do spot that there is another one in here, just to be aware, that hasn't acted yet.
There. Hello. That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
Nice.
Well,
That's a 27.
Yeah, I mean, a nat
Very
20,
nice.
a nat 20 on its own would obviously crit it, but a 27 would also crit it as well. So roll your damage for your sword and add your strength and then double
add
it.
strength and then double it.
Yep.
That is a 6 plus 3, 9, 18.
18 points damage. That absolutely cuts this guy in half in one go. The leash that it's carrying is dropped, and the maggot kind of sort of doesn't feel the tension of it anymore. But what I will say is this: as you ran past, you kind of got within a certain distance of it, and it almost reared as if it knew you were there. And it turns itself to look in your direction. But that is a very dead Mitflit.
And so it should be.
The creature is completely gone.
Obviously inspired by previous actions against Mifflets.
Clearly unhappy with how that has happened before. So at this point, Neffy, your held action will go because Anka is off of that rope, off of that bridge. What I'd like is an athletics check from you, please, to see if you can clamber up this rope.
16?
You just about, and it is difficult. You only just managed to pull yourself up there. You have just about enough movement as well to step into the door if you so desire.
I am not the strongest of things. Yeah, I'm going to get into the door because that... Oh, no,
So,
that's going to be a wall.
There you go. And there you go.
Okay.
I'll do the movement on that
Thank
one
you.
because, as you said,
Thank
there
you.
are walls in the way and things like that. But that is
Yeah.
your action, and you are there. So you did say you were delaying until after Mosran. So I mean, you can come in now if you wish to, Phelan. But
No. After Mosron is fine.
okay. So Mosran, it is your go.
I believe Neffy's cleared the bridge.
Neffy has cleared the
Reasonably
bridge.
speaking. Straight up there like a rabbit up a drain pipe. Let's go up.
Okie dokie. So you step up to the rope. I will effectively count this as part of the movement, which is the athletics check, so don't worry too much about that. You can absolutely 100% do this. So if you would do an athletics check, please, to see if you can get yourself up this rope.
14 and 7, 7, 14, 21.
Oh, easily. Not a problem. You pull yourself up onto the top of this. You get to the top of the steps, but I would say because of where Neffy is and because of the fact that you had to step up to the rope to start with, that will actually have taken you your full movement just to get to this part behind where Neffy is right now.
Okay.
So that's for one action, though, so you still have 2 actions left.
Oh, I can't be showing up. So therefore, I have reach with my halberd, and knowing this, I'm going to move myself forward.
That seems fair enough. Yep, Howard's do in fact have
No,
a reach of
I'll cover that.
a reach. So yep, you are more than welcome to step there and be threatening both of them. So that's second action to get to there. Third action, which one are you going for?
We're going to go for the known values, and we're going to aim for the Mifflet.
Mm-hmm.
Cycle
I keep calling them Mitflits, but actually you guys don't know that's what they're called. I just keep on saying it because I'm a muppet.
Yep. Stop
Means
looting in the
nothing to me.
face. 17
Oh,
plus
yeah.
9 for a 28.
That would be a critical hit. Oh boy.
How are you getting 17 plus 9 equals 28?
26. 26. I can't count.
It's still a critical hit, either way.
One down.
Thing
plus
is,
the
I
10.
didn't notice the maths issue.
No.
Thank you for pulling me. Thank you for pulling me. Okay. 10 plus 4. 1 plus 4 is 5, so 10.
10 points of damage. You come in with your halberd and swing for this thing, feeling that you've got a relatively good connection, and you do watch its head disappear off the top of its body, and the creature falls to the floor dead. The maggot shifts again and looks straight at you with some very, very weird white cloudy eyes.
Oh dear.
Good
to know.
Phelan, it is your go.
Okay.
Phelan, you can take on the maggot, but it still only counts as one.
Duh, references.
So, one move to there.
Yep. Might
Now,
have to navigate around walls.
Will the badger automatically follow me?
No. So the badger, unfortunately, it will take an action to command it, and that gives it 2 actions to move it. Because it's combat, you have to give it orders.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's the first time I've done that. So, second action. Let's move up to there and whistle for Olarin. Let's do 1 action, probably 2 actions to get
next to you. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on.
No, so I might have to do that. Let me do that for you for now. There's a small change I need to make in the background to allow you to move Olrin during combat. So I will.
Cool.
I'll just make sure that is done later.
Okay.
So
yeah.
You get Olrin up to next to you, and Phelan, you are all now at least over the bridge in one way or another. The additional creature that's over the back here, who's just seen basically his 2 friends cut down in single blows, will, knowing what he's supposed to do in this life and not entirely agreeing with it right at this second, will draw. Well, he'll have his short sword in hand already, but so he will move over to Anka here. That takes 2 actions.
As he comes towards me, can I speak to him in Undercommon?
You can't really, I'm afraid. I mean, you, by all means, you can shout at him. I'm quite happy for you to, but it'll depend what you say.
All I was going to say in Undercommon was, do you really want to do this?
you see the look on his face, which appears to be no, but I'm going to be in trouble if I don't. And he will swing his short sword at you, getting a 14, which is, it's almost certainly going to be a terrible miss as he tries to swing this rather pathetic looking short sword at you. And
I just give it a very disappointing look in return.
It is, however, now the maggot's turn. The maggot is aware of the creatures around it now, and will shuffle itself forward up to the one that it knows is closest. So it doesn't seem to be seeing you with its eyes. It's almost like there's something else going on here. And it is going to rear itself up and try and bite at Mosran with its mandibles.
Creature within your reach uses a manipulate action or a move action.
It would indeed allow you to attack it, yes.
I don't know if it interrupts, that's what I was curious about.
No, interrupt just means that you get to do it before it completes the action. There are certain things that you can do with attack of opportunity that then says it stops that action happening, but movement isn't one of them. It's normally manipulate actions.
5 and 9 for 14.
A 14 is going to hit.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll take that then.
Don't argue.
1 and 9 for 10.
10 points of damage. You hit it very hard, and it does not look like it's very happy at all, but it is still going. So it will then rear up and try and hit you with its mandibles. Let me just have a very quick look at this.
It's a vain attempt.
So it bites into you a 17 to hit.
Its teeth glance off of the breastplate and armor. 18 AC.
Fair enough then. I'm going to suddenly rapidly run out of these combatants. So that's its first one, its first action. It will then... Oh, I forgot its reaction. I should have used its reaction when you hit it.
You can still do it?
Yeah, if you don't mind, if you are, So it as you hit it, it's going to basically, it convulses and a spew of rotten material comes out of what you can best guess is its mouth. So it regurgitates on you. I would like you to make a fortitude save throw, please.
No regurgitation.
I suddenly regret my life choices. Fortitude.
A fortitude
You could have
save.
said no.
7,
You could have said no.
13 plus 7 for 20 total.
Oh, well, that's a success, and you completely ignore the effect. Well, there you go. Okay. So for its third action, it is going to try and bite you again. Natural one, completely miss.
Bites itself.
But it doesn't bite itself. Thank goodness for critical hits, misses not being a thing anymore. Neffy, it is your go.
Yeah.
And Anka will be up next.
I want to shoot it.
You want to shoot it? I mean,
I don't want to be anywhere near it. I just want to shoot it.
It does have cover, so it's going to be slightly harder to hit, but it is a giant maggot.
What is the rule on the fact that an ally's next to it? Do I get anything, or is that a D&D thing?
No. You would normally only get that for flanking. You are not flanking. It is a D&D thing where rogues get to do that sort of thing.
Well, I want that.
Well, tough. Play a different game.
I rolled a 21.
A 21 is most definitely a hit, even with the cover that it is getting from people in the way. So roll your damage.
Yeah, rolled a 4.
4 points damage. It's still going. I hate to say this, Musrum, but it again. He's gone. Well, that's cheeky.
The dog was asking, I think.
Dear, oh dear.
As him running.
I'm totally gone. Bluetooth, I can hear. What's going on?
Fortitude save throw again, because it's just been damaged again, and it starts to vomit up all over you.
Oh, my bad. I was about to reload and then shoot it again.
Even more so. 15 and 7. Get away with you. Fine. The dog's out now.
Yeah, all right then.
I'm going to reload.
Yep.
And then I'm going to try and shoot it again.
Yeah, you go for it. Go for
I
that.
can make it throw up a Mothran once more.
Unfortunately, reactions you only get. You only get one a turn, so it can't do it again.
Damn it! I might wait. No, I'm kidding. So it's plus 18.
That is gonna again hit. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
And I rolled a 5 on damage.
Well, that was very quick. So the bolt goes into this maggot, and it drops down dead.
Oh.
I'm like, ew. Just ew.
Okay. That is that. That's all of your actions. So, Anka, it's your turn. And Mosran, when you get back, it would be your turn next. But, you're not there at the moment, so we might skip you.
So, for my first action, again, I'll send uncommon, drop your sword, or you are dead.
Okay. So
and try and do an
intimidate. Yep. So what you need to do for that is roll a d20, add your intimidate score, and I have a target number that you need to hit.
What is my intimidation? I don't even know. Intimidate. Oh, it's only +3. That's disappointing. 16.
That does indeed bypass the target number that you need. He is going to become frightened from that attempt to intimidate it. That is the only time you can intimidate it. You can only intimidate one creature per fight. So no, that's not what I meant. What I meant was you can frighten people, but you can only frighten once in any fight. So you can frighten multiple different people, but you can only frighten each thing.
So what does frightened do?
Frightened is quite considerably nasty. It reduces every single one of his skill rolls. It reduces his perception. It reduces his armor class. It reduces his saves. It's pretty mean. He is effectively a much easier target for you to just sort of swing at.
Seeing that it's had some effect, I essentially lunge at him with drop my sword, lunge at him with my fist, and try and grapple him.
Okay.
And to
grab attempt. Yeah. So to make a grab attempt, you're going to make an athletics check against one of his
good at that.
saves as well.
18, 7, 25.
You most definitely have grabbed him. You didn't, by one, critically succeed at your grab. So you have him grabbed, but you don't quite have him fully grappled. So unfortunately, grappling and grabbing, it's immensely powerful to grab and grapple people. So totally go with what you've done there, but yes, that's going to hugely affect him even more. His armor class is reduced even further. He's
just see a slew of bad things on him.
Yeah, it's not great for him. He's frightened, he's grabbed, which means he's flat-footed, which means he's also immobilized. It's not looking like a good day for him at the moment. Certainly, if anybody then flanked him and tried to stab him, he's probably not got a hope in hell.
With third actions, I try and drag them towards the rest of the party.
Okay. I don't think there's a particular rule for that. What I would do is I'll treat it almost like it's a reverse shove. So you'll do another athletics. You'll be a -5 for this because technically it's another attack and the grab is an attack. So you're only going to get +2. But if you can beat his thing, I'll say you can move him 5 foot.
So that's 18 again. So 18 + 7 -5, so 20.
Yeah. You can move him 5 foot in any direction you wish. So which direction would you want to move?
Just towards the rest of the party.
So drag him down one space and put him in even more trouble. Mosran, it's your go.
Right, and hearing what I did and seeing where everything is.
So I shouted something that you don't understand at it, and then essentially grabbed it by the scruff of the neck.
Started dragging it.
And dragging it towards everybody.
Fine, right. We can get to there. Right, let's get shifted. That's my 25.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to follow up and just stab it in the face with the halberd.
Oh. Well, fine.
I don't know what... You shouted at it, looked at it, pointed, grabbed it and dragged it over to us. I presume we're trying to shank it. So I will attempt to shank it.
Yeah.
13 and 9? 22?
So that would be a critical hit because of all of the reduced levels that it has and everything else. Roll your doubled damage. I believe you're going to kill it mercilessly.
Well, it's being sort of held in place. I'm going to stab just below where it's being held. So I'm presuming it's not being grabbed by the hair and dragged around.
Yeah.
That's a 1 + 4, so 5 for 10.
That is exactly what you needed. I was going to say I don't think you can't kill it with with a critical hit. So would you like to describe the poor fate of this grabbed and demoralised creature?
As Anka grabs it and drags it over, it's like, perfect opportunity, great thinking. Runs up and just stabs it through the middle. Teamwork. It makes the dream work. It's a wonderful idea. Love the technique. We'll do that again.
That wasn't the intended outcome, Oswin.
Oh.
But
What was the plan?
well, I thought we had an opportunity to possibly question the damn thing.
That
shouldn't
would
have
have
been
been
trying to
a
hit
useful thing
us.
to. Yeah. What was it you were shouting anyway?
I just told her to drop its sword.
Oh, did look like it was complying.
I don't think we gave it the opportunity, to be fair.
I will try and remember that whatever that was means stop it. And try and hit it with a blunt end next time.
Well, that would be most preferable. Yes, please. But at least we're not in danger now. How is everybody? That weird-looking thing seemed to have got you a little bit, Mosman.
Yeah, it's peeling some of the paint. I don't think it's probably very good for me. But so far it's not doing any harm. And I'll just basically wipe it off and flick it against whatever railing I'm standing next to and like smear it
Come
off.
here. Come here.
Go on, do your
Reputation
thing.
cleaning. Wax on. Goo off.
This is the prestidigitation symbol. Okay.
I guess while I'm standing on top of the two bodies, I search.
Like literally standing.
Yeah, very much. I search who I believe to have been like the leadery person and
Yep.
see if they had anything of particular interest. And if either of them's got any darts, I'll definitely pocket them.
Okay.
Because I need a ranged weapon.
No, that's fair enough. I will. You can easily find darts. I think only maybe 2 are thrown in that entire thing. So there's actually about 28 darts kicking
Oh,
around.
geez.
They all carry about 10 of these things each. So I will put one onto your inventory for you, and then you can decide if you picked up all 28 or not. But they are there now for you. One of them is anyway. So yeah, by all means, add however many you were
I
carrying.
probably would have picked maybe 10 or so.
Yeah. So these creatures, they're small creatures. So they're carrying darts, which are they've been throwing them. They're almost like whole handhold size sort of darts for them, but for you guys, they're still sort of fairly normal sized darts. They're also carrying short swords. Again, probably a bit smaller than you would like as a short sword, but you could just about feasibly use them as one. And with a little bit of sort of work and practice, they'd be usable as short swords, even if they're a bit short for you. But beyond that, realistically, all 3 of these creatures look to have been kitted out in exactly the same stuff, and there's no real mark that one was a leader. It just seemed to be the one that was in charge of the maggot at that point in time. And you get the feeling that they were doing something with the maggot, but it's not very clear. You didn't really get a lot of chance to observe what they were up to, but it did look like that one was trying to give it instructions. You're not entirely certain that that's what the maggot was following, or whether or not it just went, there's movement over there and off I go. So yeah, what you do have here though is a fairly large chamber. This is pretty big. You've got 2 doors off to the east. You've got a door to the west immediately after the drawbridge, but there's also, as it says, it carries on round, and as you look, there's 3 doors which go up to the north, one of which is a double door, but that one seems to be very heavily blocked. There's a lot of rubble that has come down from the ceiling and kind of blocked that doorway. So yeah,
Which one, sorry?
So there's a door way up there. If you can see my ping, there's actually a double door all the way up there, and there's a door into the south on this side as well. So you've got quite a lot of rooms potentially coming off this area. So yeah.
What do we want to do?
Can I
Take a
hear
read?
anything at the door I'm at?
At that door that you're at, well, I'm going to do some general perceptions for all of you, just to sort of get a grasp of what you might be able to work out while you're wandering around. And okay, so. First thing that you do notice sort of in this area as you're sort of plodding around and looking for things, Neffy, you're the only one that spots this. There's actually another door.
Oh.
Just up to the north, just before you get into the small alcove with the door that's already there, you spot that there's a door just there. I've just opened it for you.
Skip over there excitedly that I found something.
Yeah, absolutely, completely hidden.
Way,
yeah, absolutely, completely hidden from view initially. You notice that there is an alcove there. This alcove here has several grooves in the stone that look to be caused by something like scraping. It's not 100% clear what is going on in here, but it looks like there were channels, various sort of strange patterns of something embedded in the wall at some point. So when I say scrapings, I don't mean it looks like somebody was scratching to get out or something like that. It looks like something's been pulled out of the wall. And anybody who wishes to can kind of have a look in this, and you're welcome to do recall knowledge with Arcana or Occultism if you are interested. But that depends on what people score. What is your best value in either of those two, Arcana or Occultism? Start with Becky.
I'm insane.
Well, you are a rogue. That doesn't surprise me that you got the same in every recall knowledge skill going. So what's your bonus then for that?
+6.
Plus
I just rolled
6.
Oh, you're rolling, aren't you?
I will be rolling it. Does anybody else want to have a check over this or not?
Yeah, I'll have a look.
So,
I'm just keeping an
The
eye out.
mighty
scouting
one.
effectively.
With a mighty 1 and then a +6 on that side. So okay, as it happens, Neffy, it is you're sort of poking at it at first and you're kind of looking it over, and it takes you a bit of time, and you converse with Phelan while you're there, but you're pretty certain that this is a very ancient type of magic, which could well be once upon a time, if all of the whatever material used to be embedded in the wall, if that was still there, that it probably was a small teleportation room, a teleportation chamber.
Okay.
Now, what I would like is also everybody to give me your best recall knowledge. It doesn't matter what you're doing. This is just while you're looking around the room. So whatever is your best. So that would be nature, occultism.
Scouting?
No, well, not really for this one, I would have to say. It has to be something that is to do with magic. Religion also counts. So
okay, I'm okay with religion.
Okay, so Becky, what's your best recall knowledge skill for a magical sort of skill?
Still +6.
Still
It'll be
plus-
Arcana or Occultism.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then for Lily, for Anka,
Yeah, religion +4.
+4. Mosrin, are you going to be interested in this?
Keeping an eye out and looking over. Absolutely, why not? Arcana and Occultism are matched, so I'll go Occult.
Okay, and what's the bonus in that?
5.
And then your best bonus, Phelan, for you sort of looking at bits and pieces
Is 7.
is 7. Okie dokie. I'm happy to say after that little roll, everybody realises this. It's quite simple for each of you to piece it together, especially with what you're looking at. It doesn't initially look like this room is damaged as badly as it is just through time. That you don't see moss growing over everything, and you don't see that sort of water damage that you'd expect. Each of you kind of looking around the room, and you're piecing it together and you're putting stuff together. You all realise that the destruction in this room has been caused by some massive, powerful, destructive, magical battle that occurred in this chamber.
We knew the story of this,
yes.
didn't we?
Yep, the
So is
Rose
the chamber
Guard, Rose
literally
Guard.
That size?
Rose Guard.
For a second.
So is the chamber literally this size?
Yeah,
or-
it's just a 5 foot by 5 foot
Okay.
square.
But the environment has been decimated.
Yeah, sorry. This chamber, this L-shaped chamber is here. And there's been some massive sort of battle in this space.
So this place was part of that scrap we heard about back with the hollow ghosts thing.
Yes.
Okay, that kind of explains that weird room you've got over there. Was it a broom closet for magic brooms? Going on
A
over
teleporting broom closet. Only brooms can teleport.
Any brooms?
That's very specific. Very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Do you still have that dagger, Phelan?
Yeah, I think so.
Do
Didn't see
want
much
to try-
sense throwing it away.
Do we want to see what happens if that dagger goes inside that room?
As far as... Was it that there was something missing from the grooves in the alcove?
It
So
looks like-
it wouldn't work anyway.
It looks like somebody else probably in the past found this chamber and has robbed it of some sort of element.
Mm.
We
Are we able to
saw-
tell what that's... Oh, sorry.
It's fine, after you.
I was just saying, are we able to work out what was taken from the area? Like what item or material it was?
Not really.
Like-
Knowing that it's a teleportation chamber, you could probably guess that it was some sort of precious metal that would have made up some sort of runic circuitry, for want of a better description, that surrounded the chamber and allowed the magic to work. These things are very powerful because functionally, so long as you know the right words to say, the magic itself is more or less sort of dormant and stays in the runes. So you just need to know the right way of speaking the incantation, and it will activate.
What's the name of the sorceress that died? Or maybe-
Belcora was the sorceress.
We might want to be a bit careful on that one then, in case even if it was active, threw us somewhere where we well, if
Are
she's
we
got a way
certain
of
that-
getting in and out.
I was to say, are we certain that Belcora was defeated, or could they have teleported out?
As certain as the vision that we saw previously and all the rumours and all of the stories go, she was destroyed all those many years ago. But there's clearly something still reminiscing, be it remnants of her power or something. Feels like there's something here, if not her.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
Absolutely, you can. Yes. Within, what is it, 30 foot of you?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at. I think it's 30 foot, yeah. And you ignore magic you're fully aware of. So any items that I know that we have, I would ignore.
Okay. You do not detect, he says, just checking everything around you. No, that's a bit of a lie. You detect magic coming from the east of you.
Okay. As in
anywhere near Phelan and
no, that's the west. I'm being an idiot.
Oh, sorry, the west of you, not the east of you. Yeah, the west of you. That's me being bad. Yes,
there,
but not. Well, the problem is it's like a bit of a radar ping. But you kind of you go okay, magic to the west of me. Let's ignore the immediate area around me. Let's just see if it's close or far away. You do it again. You know that it's not in the chamber that you're looking at right now. It must be in the room next to you.
So it's sort of like sonar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I go to this room,
that's where you think it might be. Yeah.
Cool. I just don't even listen. I just open the door.
Okay. You open up the door. Right. Okie dokie. The collapsed ceiling in the middle of this room has left a ragged hole in the wooden roof. Rotten tapestries, their designs completely obscured by mould, hang in tatters on the walls between arrow slits and ruined side tables. The remains of a fancy dining table lie mostly pulverised by the falling ceiling.
What you got going on in there? What's up, Nicky?
Oh, I step in and cast Detect Magic again.
I mean, unfortunately, it is sonar. It definitely pings nearby. You are 100% on that one. But as you step in, and I'm just going to make 100% certain on this one.
You die. There we go.
AC is higher if there are traps.
Oh dear, wonderful.
Seriously, my AC is higher for traps. Just saying.
Right. Yeah, that's a fair point. Let me just see if you're able to work out if you can see anything. You have a look around the room, and there's something strange about this room, but you can't 100% put your finger on what it is.
Okay. Does anyone else want to come and have a look?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe prestidigitation, which I can never say that word, on the pictures to get rid of the mold. Would that work?
I don't think I'll be particularly useful, so I will stay outside and wander around.
Okay. I'll stay here as a link.
Attempt to clean some pictures.
You prestidigitate, it clears off the mold, but the pictures are still ruined. They're not really of much value at all. The only thing that really you can see as you progress around the room is that there are some interesting things further to the back. And there we go, right. As Nephi steps onto the rubbled spaces and onto those rubbled bits
I fall through the floor.
Nah, not so much, but as you step up onto that surface, you suddenly see what bothered you so much to start with, as wispy kind of ghostly figures start to rise out of the centre area of the room. They look like 6 ghostly kobolds, and they turn and look at you and Phelan and reach out a bony, ghostly hand and scream at you as they reach in towards to grab you. And that's where we're going to stop.
Oh.
My bad.
What can I say? What can I say?
It was
Bloody
always going to be me that set things off. Come on.
You're supposed to be the rogue. You're supposed to be the sneaky, slow one, checking for traps.
We'll see you next time,
No,
guys.
no.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye.
Bye.